Yo, Gold Castle. Yeah, no. Intro-wise, I've been thinking. We've peaked, man. We've peaked. You've been on the LEC. I made that entire video skit out of it. Yeah, it's done. There's no coming back from that. So, yeah, I've read Mega's ideas. Let's just put a pin in those. Let's just those suggestions. Yeah, no. Let's just start the next episode. So hear me out, right? We start the next episode. We're just like, hey, Baltic Masters finished their playoffs, and a lot of EU Master teams are getting locked in, and all the ERLs are in playoffs. Let's just get right into it, and then roll the intro.
Hi, the LFA just finished its regular season.
Bon bac, c'est pas le bon bac. Il est interrompu par le tigre. C'est un flash out pour Elam, un flash. Un autobus vient de faucher Prime sous sa T2.
Heading into this Super Week 8, Gamers Origin and Solari were looking for a perfect result to clutch out playoff in some tiny scenarios. Unfortunately, both of them failed in the process. GO threw another 8k gold lead against Game World and looked mentally demolished after that, 0-3. Solari went 2-1 after losing to LDLCOL. On the other side, the battle for first place went in an unexpected way. On day 1, Easy Dream to down K-Corp thanks to the coach Joel buff. Carmine redeems herself with a great showing against BDS in day 2. And the nemesis Solari helped them out in day 3, where they also beat BDS. Meanwhile, Misfit Premier goes 3-0, so it leads us to a tiebreaker for first place against K-Corp. The Blue Wall annihilates the Rabbits in the fastest game of the split, 21 minutes to take the throne. Our playoff bracket is now fully completed. Every step will be a best of 5, starting this Wednesday at 6 PM with Game World against Vitality B. The winner will face Team BDS the day after, and we'll have to wait another week to see Misfit Premier and Carmine Corp again. With just a few steps before EU Masters, and with Carmine Corp being the first French representative, I have a small message for every European org out there. You are absolutely not ready for the insane number of fans that will show up behind every Twitter post. So, brace yourself, France is coming.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Karen here for you with your weekly update on PG Nationals.
Uno scambio di uccisioni, Yike, pochi HP, non c'è più front per i Samsung Morningstar, quindi se mica sono giusto engage potrebbe essere un bel fight, ma il fight è chiuso.
Bellissima suprema, Gubi, Schwarz, Gubi, sarà interrotta, double kill, cercherà anche la triple kill e arriverà la triple uccisione, a poco importa l'uccisione di lo stesso di Dara su Click, mamma mia gustoso, delicious!
Dashing through the last week of playoffs before the final rounds, we got 2 lower bracket and 1 upper bracket BO5. The lower bracket was kicked off by the series between Cyberground and GGN Esports trying to keep their miracle run alive. Despite Cyberground having a really stacked roster, GGN Esports brought to the table a way better teamwork and managed to win the series. The next day, they had to face off against Machko, waiting there seeking vengeance against Samsung Morningstars, and this time their motivation was higher. Machko won the series and brought the miracle run to an end. On the upper bracket, we got the hyper-adrenalinic silver-scraped BO5 between Makers and Samsung Morningstars, and if you missed it, I really recommend you to go fetch it back. Makers jumped in with a really good start, but Samsung Morningstars managed to keep the series alive until the very end. On Game 5, Makers won the series and locked their spot in the Grand Finals and in EU Masters, even if we don't know yet if it will be as first or second seed for Italy. This brings us to the final week, with 1 slot remaining for EU Masters, 2 BO5 still to play, 2 seeds yet to be decided, and 3 teams still on the run. Friendly reminder, Tuesday and Sunday, 7 PM, the spring split for PG Nationals comes to an end, so don't miss a single moment out of it.
Greetings, good people of the EUniverse. My name is Harry Dr. Evans, and today we'll be bringing you the final series of the Baltic Masters Spring 2021 split.
Vayne, and this gives him a lot of upfront burst damage. So we see that might not matter.
Fight is kicking off. Glacial Failure has been used. Cosmic goes low and is taken out for the first kill of the fight. Bushy being zoned away as they look to try and get onto Olaf. They will be able to do so, but they lose pulses in the meantime. Now they're going to be following through. The shutdown is good, but Divider looking to jump onto God's when he survives for a long time, but does go down. Bushy doing all he can, but the final hour is here, and Vayne is running rampant, looking towards T-Ball. Can he get another? Can he get the ace? Yes, he can! Now, how much can Method to Madness take from this?
This week, we of course had our grand finals, where we saw Method to Madness face off against the undefeated Ghostkiller. Nobody really expected this one to be the finals just a few weeks ago, but when Method to Madness took their upset win against Pig Sports in the semis, we all knew that we would be in for a treat. During the regular season, Ghostkiller had done an incredibly good job of matching Method to Madness's insane early aggression. Often it was the case in their matches against each other, we would see that the scoreline was like 10-10 at 10 minutes. But then, by the 20-minute mark, Ghostkiller had found some way to turn this into a 30-10 scoreline, and luckily the finals were a bit different. It was completely back and forth series that absolutely delivered. We saw Divider dismantling the early game, as he often does, and creating massive advantages, decimating Ghostkiller's plans in a way that we had never seen before in the Baltic Masters. It was an absolute cracker, and I have to say that it was probably my favorite best of 5 that I have ever casted. It went all the way to 5 games, but if I had to recommend just one, it would probably be Game 4. It was ridiculous, back and forth all the way. There were some questionable Baron duo attempts as well sprinkled in at the end. It was amazing, but at the end of the day, whilst Ghostkiller's undefeated streak was brought to a close, their retention of first place was not. They won it out in a 3-2 victory, but both teams will still be going to EU Masters as our representatives, where you can expect to see still an insane amount of individual skill coming out from Ghostkiller and just ridiculous early aggression coming forth from Method to Madness. There'll be absolute treats of games to watch, and I hope you all enjoy. We'll see you there.
Hi everyone, Noah here to update you all about Superliga's regular season end.
Giants estaban escondidos en el arbusto con ese guardián de control. Stun de locos por parte de Fresco y va con la centena. Se gira Genos Arctic. Sacan el heraldo con lo que se lleva la vida de Camilius.
Espérate, pues esto no ha acabado, se lleva una doble coldito de Antonio que estaba en el arbusto, no se lo esperaba. Le cae Sous, cuidado, Fías que se lo quiere comer, el cocinero. ¡Ay, Arguiñano! Tenía hambre de patatas con salsa.
This play granted G2 Arctic first place in regular season, which means we have our first team locked for the European Masters. G2 Arctic is going for sure, but UCAM is watching closely since they secured second place in the tiebreakers. If G2 Arctic reach finals, UCAM as second would go to the European tournament even if they don't deliver in playoffs. If you want to rewatch a banger of a game, I'll recommend to you the G2 Arctic vs Vodafone Giants game precisely. This was our last regular season game, a game that would decide our first EU Masters team. G2 Arctic was fighting for themselves, but Giants' victory would mean that Creme Royale Betis would be in first place because of a quadruple tiebreaker won by Betis for direct records. Also, you can taste a bit of in-game trash talk between these two teams, with tons of vitality icons popping out constantly. So these are our teams in playoffs. Sadly for the Mad Lions Madrid, they couldn't complete their Mad Miracle run and fell versus Team Queso in a game that would decide our last team in playoffs. As you can see also, from 1st to 5th, there are only a couple of victories of difference. Everything was to be decided in our last day. And this is our playoffs bracket. On Monday we will have a classic in Spanish competition. It's a clash of powerhouses, it's our Spanish Telecom Wars. Vodafone Giants versus Movistar Riders. But the fact is that one of these two powerhouses won't be able to reach European Masters since they fell lower than they expected in the standings, so they depend on reach finals to go there. If you want to see quality league with renowned players such as Maxler and Attila, I will tell you not to miss this best of 5. Thursday, we will have a Creme Royale Betis versus Team Queso. Betis chose Team Queso for quarterfinals because they considered them to be weaker than Riders. But Team Queso has been stealing games from the top teams during all the season, so better watch out. This has been everything from me this week. Next week we will have 4 Superliga days with quarter and semifinals, and our playoffs are always spectacular, so please come and watch with us.
Oh wait, you're there. Hi, I'm EUniverse with the LPLOL, and it's time for playoffs.
A batida é esta que está no top site com o teleporte disponível para se conseguir juntar à sua equipa. Se o clear do meio funcionar, a tier 3 do top pode ficar aqui completamente exposta.
Não, mas está a tentar chegar-se para trás, dá um engage.
Ora aqui o Flash Killer Instinct a partir, o Skada Ultimate e 3 temos Shockwave a partir como follow-up do Nova também, mas olha a quantidade de DPS que o SX está a conseguir dar, mas é batido aqui, 3 por nada.
Last week, every game counted, and eventually the 5 teams that were fighting for a spot in playoffs turned to 4 as Offset lost both games of the week and got out of playoff contention pretty early. Eventually, there was a 4-way tie that was solved unfortunately by head-to-head, and GTZ had to stay behind. If I had to choose a match to watch though, it wouldn't be any of the 8 regular matches that we saw, it would be the tiebreaker between EGN and For The Win, which ends in a very, very weird manner, and it's a very back and forth game, and it's very, very exciting to watch. Eventually, For The Win did manage to creep out on top, and they ended 3rd place after trailing behind the ties through the entire split. But now we're headed to playoffs. The format is as follows. It's literally a single elimination. There's only 4 teams competing. It's 1st versus 4th seed, which will be White Dragons versus EGN, and then we'll have Boa Vista versus For The Win on the other side of the bracket. Whoever wins both of these matches will meet each other in the finals, and they will both have access to the EU Masters play-ins as the Portuguese number 1 and number 2 seeds. If I had to choose one of these matches to watch though, I would watch White Dragons versus EGN, since EGN were the only team during the regular split who actually managed to beat the White Dragons, these titans that seem to be dominating everyone else, which will make it then a very exciting best of 5. Signing off for next week, my name is EUniverse, and the LPLOL playoffs will be super exciting. Don't miss it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dutch League update with me, Woong.
Nu, niet per se te flashen. Hier is ook.
Silas die is in de problemen geraakt door de super mega death rocket en de death sentence. Fat Shield staat nu aan de verkeerde kant van de fight en zal hier ook doodgaan.
De Meganar
die daar de kill pakt en Lumerion met zijn prachtige nar in de backline. En Rico moest daar wegflashen, maar Barrage is nu excited. 4 kills voor PSV.
En dit is exact wat PSV wilt gaan.
As everywhere, our playoffs are in full effect and the race is tight. With 2 best of 5s down, only 1 team has been eliminated yet. This week, we had our Juggernaut match to decide which team goes straight to the finals and who battles it out against the winner of our 2nd match of the playoffs. Tuesday, we saw our best teams clash against each other when PSV took on Dynasty in our first best of 5 in the Juggernaut match. The winner of the Juggernaut match would go straight to the finals, so there was a lot on the line for both teams. The first game was a long one, where both teams tested the waters a bit, looking what the other team would do, but eventually, after it being very close, PSV Esports took the first game. The next 2 games would easily go to Dynasty as they made short work of PSV. But PSV would strike back and they fought it out in the 4th game to eventually take it home. Now it all came down to the last game, the 5th game of this series, where the winner would go to the finals and the loser would have to battle either Team Echo Zulu or MCOR Esports Rotterdam in the semi-finals. In that last game, experience was all that counted and it was PSV Esports who took it all home, turning the tides and eventually winning the series. To decide who would face Dynasty in our semi-finals, we had our 2nd match of the playoffs between Team Echo Zulu and MCON Esports Rotterdam. MCON would still be playing with a substitute support as their head coach filled the support position and made a valuable effort to balance the odds. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Team Echo Zulu took a decisive 3-0 victory and will face Dynasty in our semi-finals to see who would go on to face PSV Esports in the finals. If you've missed all the action, well, first off, shame on you. And second of all, you should rewatch this series, the Juggernaut match between Dynasty and PSV Esports. It went to 5 games, it was very close, it was nice to cast, it was even better to watch, and it was a true nail-biter. Next week, we will have the semi-final between Dynasty and Team Echo Zulu,
At the beginning of the playoffs we might say a trio for Dynasty, but after Team Ekkozulu showing a lot of early game aggression in their series against MCon Esports Rotterdam, it could go both sides, it could go to 5 games, there will be a lot of different picks, because a spot in the finals is on the line and no team wants to miss it, especially Dynasty after dominating the league for the whole split. That was me again for this EU update for the Dutch League. I hope you guys have a nice day, I hope you enjoyed the show, and especially we'll be seeing each other more when EU Masters comes around. See you next time.
Finally, we can talk about playoffs, baby. That means in Belgium we are playing best of 5s, but I really want to talk to you guys about the sweet, beautiful magic of a 3-0 victory.
De pressure in de lane, ze kunnen deze fight vooral gaan rekken. En deze keer is het Iron Squad die de Baron start. En KV Mechelen die moet reageren met double TP in de base te gaan voor de base race.
Deze base race kan interessant worden. Slimmer pusht sowieso snel terug. De Baron zit op 5 HP. De toplane inhibitor gaat er weg worden om de game te halen. Het is een split push. Kijk naar de Baron. Die is op backstoppen. Ze moeten de backstoppen. Zijn air wordt gepopt. KV Mechelen is er wel aan het pushen. Iedereen zit nog binnen. De recall wordt gebruikt. Het is daar Dominic kan domineren. Mikkel het zoveel damage. Mikkel is de fight aan het clean. Dominic probeert op Sliver te raken, maar is het niet goed genoeg. Oh, wat gaat neer? Sliver heeft geen turretjes meer beschikbaar. Maar KV Mechelen, Mikkel cleant iedereen. Triple kill voor hem. The game is still alive. Indeed.
I'll be honest with you guys, I'm pretty nervous because for the first time I didn't actually script out my segment, and that's because in Belgium we've been reading off the script way too much. The standings in the regular season right now are just holding their own during playoffs, but it's the way those games are played that makes it very interesting. First up, we had the Juggernaut match, KVM versus Iron Squad. Winner qualifies directly into finals, and who won? Well, the first seed, in a quick 3-0 fashion. But the first game was really close. KVM is known to draft creatively, and they drafted this weird Tristana hypercarry Mikkel comp and then an Iron jungle. And yeah, I give it to you, KVM, your team was really good at doing Baron, but hard forcing it 3 to 4 times might be a bit too much. In the end, it ended in classic Belgian League fashion, with Iron Squad having the opportunity to start a Baron, then getting a base race from KVM thrown at them, trying to recall, and Mikkel killing anyone who doesn't leave the pit in time. In the end, KVM made it into a quick 3-0 and advanced into the finals. Going into our second match, we had the teams Sector 1 and 4 Elements battle it out against each other. Now, again, first game, pretty slow, but that's apparently the art of the 3-0, because after Sector 1 found their bearings, they quickly disposed 4 Elements in a 3-0 fashion as well, making next week, hopefully, entertaining, because if you look at the past, well, past spring split, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 all the way through playoffs, but next week might be different with Sector 1 facing Iron Squad. Iron Squad has been on the decline as of late. The question is how much of that is due to KVM, while Sector 1 have been looking better every single game. But I don't think that Iron Squad has shown us everything they have left to show, so it might just be a very entertaining match next week, or a quick 3-0. The only way to find out is tune into the Belgian League. See you there, because it's heating up and we only send one team to EU Masters. The question is, what team is that gonna be? You'll see next Monday. Bye-bye. No, wait, you won't see next Monday. That's what happens when you do it in one take. You'll see who gets to fight KVM for that spot next Monday. See you there. Should have scripted. Bye-bye.
Hello everybody, I am back because Smoke speaks every day, and here is a short recap of what's happening in playoffs of Mastercard Hitpoint Masters.
Zkusí buď tradeout za barona, anebo forcnout nějakou špatnou akci od Esuby. Tak schválně, co z toho se stane?
No, 6000 životů má Barona Shora, evidentně budou chtít finišovat, Sinner stále čekají, sleduje jak tam skáče, Sacrifice se snaží něco udělat, ale loknutej za tím pitem, Garb kupoval čas, navíc vyčejsuje kill jakoby nic, Bisek celou dobu úplně v pohodě a tady curtain call, oni chtějí zrušit ty recally, stíhají finish, to je otazníček, to my nevíme, Eris společně se Sayatorem ničí lava nelava, Nexus už nemá moc životu, oni stíhají ale recally, Flash on Viskas jedem dopředu, Sayator ale pokračuje dál, tam ten ale nakonec to stínou! GG, well played!
Like you can see, we had some cool BO5 matches, and let's start with this one. eSuba as a favorite was against Sinners, and they were one game from the advancing to winners bracket finals, but Sinners managed to take advantage of them and then win 3-2. So I highly recommend to rewatch this series because it was full 5 games. BO5 and Sinners are in a winners bracket. The second BO5 was inside games. They lost, surprisingly, the first match, but then clearly won their game, so they are in winners bracket right now, and we are minutes away from this biggest match of the year for our Czechoslovakia community. S1 slot for European Masters will be on the line. So if you are watching on Sunday, let's check out Twitch TV Hitpoint CZ. We had a really important match in our losers bracket because Viking Creek was battling Dark Tigers, and it was very bloody battle. It was back and forth, and Viking Creek as a favorite managed to win 5 games, but I also recommend you to watch that game too, because it was always 3-2 in our playoffs, and I'm really excited that we have this cool playoff format with so many excited games. So for next week we are finishing our spring season, so let's have a look what's happening. On Thursday it will be do or die match between Viking Creek and eSuba, and during Saturday and Sunday we will have second spot for European Masters. So we will be happy if you will check out Twitch TV Hitpoint CZ, and bye bye from Hitpoint Studio.
Yeah, I know, but it's all I got, man. It's gonna be, it's just gonna be bad. Wait, no, hold on. What? No, what do you mean no NLC? Just no games. So I won't have your outdate. Yeah, but I already don't have an intro. Now I don't have an outro. What? No, sure. Yeah, no, it's fine. There's nothing, there's nothing you can do about it either. So yeah, no, it's gonna be fine. I'll manage. Yeah, man, good talk. Yeah, see you in 2 weeks.
Let's talk playoffs, let's talk a playoff. Alright, so let's just pretend that clip just played of me pooping myself. Wait, see, I don't want to do stuff now because now I know it's going to be used in an outro, so it seems like kind of cringe that I'm forcing it, so I'm just not going to say anything, so, you know, I'm going to slap you. Like, really hard. I know. You do it now. Goodbye.